A Champions League record breaker, Liverpool have work to do, Man City want a Sane swap, a transfer roundup, and this week's great debate all coming up in the next few minutes, as I'm your host Matt Froelich, here with the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. First off, and Erling Haaland, if you didn't quite know the name, which you probably should have, you definitely do by now. With all the multi-million-pound signings that PSG have made, it is the 19-year-old bought into Dortmund for just 20 million euros that managed to get them the victory over Thomas Tuchel's side last night. An unbelievable performance from the man himself, and what a strike for his second goal. Just goes to show that you don't need to be worth £222 million to turn up in the Champions League. Neymar did, in fact, the opposite. He wasn't exactly at his brilliant best, neither of the PSG side were, and Dortmund fully deserved their victory. In a few weeks, the return leg of the Parc des Princes might be a little bit different, but for now, we'll bask in the glory that is Erling Haaland. It now means that he has 39 goals this season, 11 goals for Dortmund already, and is the fastest player in Champions League history to reach 10 goals in the competition. All of this in just 7 games. He also is the first player in Dortmund's history to score in his Bundesliga debut, his DFB Pokal debut, and his Champions League debut. The records keep on falling. Unbelievable. In fact, he's done so well that we've made a separate video about him, which is going to come out later this week, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Elsewhere, things weren't so pretty though for one of Dortmund's former managers, Jurgen Klopp, and his Liverpool side, who suffered a 1-0 defeat to Atletico Madrid. Now, obviously, this is a big shock because Liverpool literally haven't been beaten for the whole of the season. In fact, under Jurgen Klopp and the first team, so we'll take out the Carabao Cup defeat, they lost in the Community Shield and one game in the group stage, but that's it. Obviously, Liverpool did not have their best evening. There were chances for Salah and Henderson, but aside from that, Liverpool didn't even have a shot on target for the whole match. It's only the second time that this has happened under the reign of Klopp. Atletico Madrid, though, we must give them massive props. An unbelievable defensive display. They were well driven, they were passionate. It was everything you expected from a Diego Simeone side. Not the Simeone side that's only won one game in the last 6 matches before the game against Liverpool. They managed to get the lead through a slightly lucky early goal after a deflection off Fabinho. Sal poked it in, and then bam. They were defensively resilient for the rest of the game, despite only having around 25% possession. The one gripe I have is with Jurgen Klopp and Andy Robertson to some extent. Both of them came out after the game and basically didn't really say that Atletico did a good job. They said that they were diving around. Robertson said that they were winning free kicks. Klopp said that, the atmosphere got the better of them, but watch out, Atletico, when you come back to Liverpool. Yes, Jurgen. We all know that Anfield's a great atmosphere. We all know that you're a really, really good team and you don't like losing, but at least be a little bit gracious and say that Diego Simeone's plan worked. I mean, come on. Honestly, Liverpool fans, Klopp, Robertson, whoever, you guys don't need to worry. In the return leg, if Atletico get anything at Anfield, I'll be absolutely amazed. Last night at the Wanda Metropolitano, yeah, you could kind of see it happening. At Anfield, there's no way Liverpool aren't scoring. There is no way the Diego Simeone side keeping clean sheets, so they'll need to score. And on the basis of Alvaro Morata's performance last night, that is not happening. I think Liverpool will score a few and be comfortably through to the next round anyways. Maybe they could learn to lose a little bit more graciously. But moving on, and to Manchester City now, who for some bizarre reason think they have a say in the future of Leroy Sane. Basically, the German winger wants to leave and Bayern Munich want to take him. We've known this since last summer. There was talk about it in January, but the winger is still not fit. This means that Manchester City have accepted they'll have to lose him in the summer because he'll only have 1 year left on his contract, and they definitely don't want to lose one of the world's biggest talents on a free transfer. So the latest news story is that Pep Guardiola and City want Leroy Sane, but only in a cash plus swap deal for Serge Gnabry. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Bayern have already come out and said that that is basically definitely not happening. But even the audacity to think that they're going to want to swap wingers. I mean, surely Bayern Munich are building a squad. Bringing in a new winger is great, but then if they're just going to get rid of one, then what's the point? There's no way they're letting Gnabry go, and there's no way that Manchester City have a say in it. Bayern could just turn around and say no, and then City are going to be like, we've only got 12 months left to sign it. We're going to have to accept some money, even if it means we can't sign Gnabry. This deal I just cannot see happening. Even if it was a separate deal altogether and City just went in for Gnabry, I'm not quite sure why he'd move at the moment. He's doing brilliantly for the German reigning champions, he's doing brilliantly in the German international squad, and everything's just going pretty swimmingly for him. So next up, in a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Arsenal want 18-year-old Bukayo Saka to sign a new 5-year deal. Barcelona are expected to announce the signing of Martin Braithwaite from Leganes today for 18 million euros. Hellas Verona centre-back Murash Kumbula is interesting Napoli, Inter Milan and Liverpool. And lastly but not not least, Jose Mourinho has admitted that the Spurs squad are heartbroken that Heung-min Son looks to be out for the next few months, meaning that Spurs have even less attackers than thought humanly possible. So lastly but not least, we come to this week's great debate. This is where we have a question from our Onefootball newsroom that you guys need to answer in the comments section below. Of course, you can find my answer and the rest of our answers from Onefootball in the relevant article in the Onefootball app. But for the comments section, we want to know, what would your punishment be for Manchester City breaking financial fair play rules? For me, I think that UEFA really need to stick by their guns and go for the 2-year ban. On top of this, I'm not sure any sort of fine is really going to bother Manchester City. At the moment, it stands at a 2-year Champions League ban and £30 million, which is absolutely nothing to any team in the Premier League considering how much money they make. This money especially doesn't affect Manchester City. The one thing I think they should do is that they should stick with a ban, and on top of this, if the Premier League get involved, maybe deduct them some points at the start of next season. This will really test Manchester City, and not only that, it's not about testing Manchester City, it's punishing them and laying down the law for every other team that thinks about doing it. The cases need to be consistent over every single team, and the punishments need to be there every single time. The consistency we haven't seen with VAR. But aside from that, let me know your thoughts on the great debate and the rest of today's daily news in the comments section below. Whilst you're there, smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. And until next time, I will see you guys later.